So after watching the Batman 3 times now, I've now had a chance to have a think about the direction that they can take for the sequel, and that's what this video is going to be about. And I'm going to be making a similar video next week regarding Spider-Man 4 after No Way Home, so stay tuned to get that video. And also, if you're new, leave a like. Welcome to the channel. For my subscribers, turn on your notifications so that you don't miss a single video. Comment down below of what you want to see in the Batman going forward. There were a lot of villain Easter eggs sprinkled throughout the movie, and I believe some of them are more than just Easter eggs. Some could very well be teasers of what's to come. And let's get the obvious one out of the way, which is, of course, the Joker. You can't do Batman without doing the Joker at some point, so whether it's in the sequel or later on in the franchise, Joker will be used eventually. Matt Reeves has come out and already confirmed in a recent interview that the man we see befriend the Riddler at the end of the movie will become the Joker, but he isn't actually that character just yet. When this person does pronounce himself as the Joker, there are two storylines they could do. First one is an adaptation of The Man Who Laughs, and for those of you who don't know, this storyline is about Batman's first encounter with the Joker. So with this Joker yet to actually be Joker, they could take inspiration from The Man Who Laughs for ideas on how to do Batman and Joker's first encounter in this world that they've already created. The second Joker route they could take is inspired by the Arkham Asylum game, where Joker pretty much takes over Arkham Asylum and sets all the inmates free. As we know by watching the film, the guy who would be the Joker is already in Arkham, and it seems like Arkham is cut off from the rest of Gotham, separated by the river. When the Joker finally does come to the light, how will he get out of Arkham and cross the river to enter Gotham without any security gunning him down before he even reaches the mainland? It would make sense and interesting to see a live-action Arkham Asylum on screen, so maybe we'll see that sooner rather than later. The second group of villains the sequel could use is the Court of Owls. The Court of Owls is a secret underworld crime group that was revealed in the comics to be running Gotham from the shadows. They're basically in control of what rules and regulations get passed, who becomes mayor, and so much more. Now, in the Batman, Carmine Falcone was actually taking a similar role like this to what the court is doing in the comics. He was essentially in control of everything within Gotham, such as the GCPD, crime, politics. So on the surface, it will seem like if they do the Court of Owls, then they'll be contradicting their own continuity they've already established. But there was a line Falcone said right before he died that was kind of intriguing. He said, and I quote, "Everything I know, all my secrets are going down with me." And this makes me think that there's more to his level of power in Gotham than what we already know. What if it's actually them that's running Gotham through Falcone, and Falcone was just being used as the public face? The Court of Owls is probably the villains in the Batman's Rogues Gallery that we've yet to see on screen before, that I would most like to see in live action. So I would very much hope so that they do this in live action at some point. But I feel if they were to use the Court of Owls, it would most likely be the franchise's endgame rather than the sequel. So if the Court of Owls is the endgame, then what about the Batman 2? Well, Matt Reeves has already come out and said that he wants to do a realistic take on Mr. Freeze. If the director himself has already come out and said that he wants to do this villain, then it's more than likely that this will be the villain we will see in the Batman 2. Personally, there are more villains that are out there that are higher on my list that I want to see before Mr. Freeze, but I will admit that watching the tragic backstory of Mr. Freeze in live action would be great if done right. Another route that they could take is Harvey Dent and Two-Face, and this is because in the Batman, the then current DA died when the Riddler blew his head off his body. Personally, I wouldn't have Two-Face in the sequel, but we should have Harvey Dent take up the DA vacancy, and he will become Two-Face either at the end of the sequel going into the third movie, or he will transform into Two-Face in the actual third movie. The fourth route that they can take is the rise of the Penguin. With Falcone now dead, Gotham City is left in turmoil, and there's going to be a power vacuum with new people rising up to try and take control of what Falcone left behind. When this was said in the movie, the camera showed the Penguin looking down on Gotham. Now, we know that the Penguin will be getting his own HBO Max show, and I believe that this show will be about Penguin seizing power, but maybe we could see Penguin become a serious threat in the Batman 2. Out of all the villains listed so far though, I do believe that he's the least likely to be used as the main villain, but we'll definitely see Penguin and Batman meet up once again at some point, whether that's in his own show or in an actual movie. And finally, the last villain they could do is Hush. Hush in the comics is Bruce's childhood friend Tommy Elliot, who has ties to the Wayne family. With the Batman tackling issues about Bruce's parents' past, having Hush as the follow-up villain would seem very fitting, and alongside the Court of Owls, he is the villain I most want to see in a live-action Batman movie. In the animated movie Batman Hush, it was actually revealed to be the Riddler who was Hush instead of Tommy Elliot, and we already have the Riddler in this world, so perhaps they can do another mystery movie like the first one, where Batman is trying to find out who Hush is, and he and the audience are led to believe that it's the Riddler to throw us all off, but it will be revealed to be Bruce's childhood friend Tommy Elliot all along. That would be an interesting story, I personally think. So what do you guys think? Who do you want to see as the main villain in the Batman 2, and what characters do you want to see going forward in the franchise as a whole? Share your thoughts down below in the comments. Do you agree with some of my ideas? Let me know. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, share the video with your friends, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and turn on the notifications so that you don't miss a single upload. My next video is going to be about Spider-Man No Way Home and Spider-Man 4, and it's going to be a similar video to what I did with this video, so stay tuned for that one. And I will see you guys later for more uploads.